I think a visit to the camps in Sabra and Shatila in Beirut in the year 2000 was, I think, my second or third year in law school. That's really when I knew I wanted to work on the refugee issue, because I could just see the disconnect between or the contrast between their lives and mine, and how really the fact that I was where I was is purely a stroke of luck. My parents could have fled south to Gaza if they were born in a city that was closer to Gaza. They could have fled to the West Bank, and where they could have fled to Lebanon, but ended up in a camp. And it was just a string of like incredibly lucky coincidences in both my parents' life and mine that led to a trajectory that was entirely different from that of the Palestinians in the camps in Lebanon, and I just couldn't reconcile the gap between their lives, or the contrast between their lives and mine, when I went back to my fancy 5-star hotel, and I just sobbed the whole night. And to me, that's when I realized, okay, I have to use that privilege, and I have to channel all of my research and my work towards amplifying the Palestinian narrative, and shedding light on the struggle of Palestinian refugees, because I could have easily been one of them. And so my master's dissertation was on the status of Palestinian refugees in Lebanon. It's called Betrayed and Forgotten. It was published in the Yearbook of Islamic and Middle Eastern Laws, which is one of the publications of SOAS, my university. And then after the LLM, I worked at UNHCR in Jordan, where I handled some of the cases of Palestinians who were fleeing from Iraq. This was right after the second war on Iraq, so 2003. And then I got a scholarship to pursue my doctoral studies. And so I went back, and I knew I wanted to write about Palestinian refugees. And through a series of conversations with a variety of people, I chose the topic of the right to reparations. So I then tried to have a career in that field. It's very tricky to work in, and because I had also personal circumstances, I wanted to be closer to my parents in the Middle East, and so academic institutions and law faculties there aren't that many, especially that teach in English, and my Arabic was not good enough to teach law. I can certainly speak and write, but not well enough to teach it. And so, I had to pivot out of a career working on Palestine, but I'm still very much involved through, being on the board of charitable organizations, and through the contribution now that I'm making through my book.